Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back after another quick trip to the comic shop this week. Got 5 comics this week. 4 on the pull list. 1 I pulled off the shelf. And I also got a manga this week, too, that I bought off of Amazon Marketplace. I'll show you that a little later. But first thing I want to show you is my comic bought only for its cover that I have sitting on top of my printer, and it's a Neil Adams Superboy cover. What issue is this? 158. This is one of the ones. I think I got this in the late 90s. I was at one of those Comic Cons in New York City that took place in the church. Everybody who's been to one knows which those ones they are. And I was just looking around, and I found looking through bins, I found a whole bunch of Neil Adams Superman Superboy covers that I bought for $2-3 a piece. That might have been the last time I bought back issues, I think. That was a long time ago now. But this is the one I just pulled. I leave it on top of my printer for a week, and that's where my museum stuff goes. It just sits on top of there. You can pick it up and look at it. And now I'll put it away and put a new one there from my bought only for their covers section. Comic shop news, what's going on? We only find them when they're dead. I am not sure what that is at all. Let's see. Cutting edge science fiction. You got me. Al Ewing and artist co-creator Simone DeMeo introduced the world, alien, blah, blah, blah. Where's this coming from? Scheduled for September 2nd release from Boom. Okay. New sci-fi book from Boom. Isn't Al Ewing the writer on The Immortal Hulk? And the rest is order numbers. So you can order things. These are the diamond order numbers. X-Men Grand Design Treasury Edition. Plastic Man Rubber Banded Deluxe Edition. Okay. My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong as I Expected comic. Okay. I always like comic shop news and see what's coming out. Let's see what I got this week. On top is my off-the-shelf comic. Lock and Key. What's the name of this one? Impale Battalions Go, Lock and Key. I've read Lock and Key. I bought it all in hardcover collected editions when it came out, and I know they've been putting out these one-shots and things since then, but I haven't got any of them. This is the first actual comic of Lock and Key that I've got. Everything else I've got is like I said, hardcover collected editions. So we'll see how this is. By the way, I watched the Lock and Key on, I think it was on Netflix, the series that came out. It wasn't nearly as good as the comic. It was just It was kind of like a teen. It was a teen show, really, as much as anything else. And the comic is much more. It's got all teens in it, but it's much more of a horror show. And what else do we have here? White Ash number 6. I really liked number 5. Was good. There was this mean vampire character who came in. There he is. Obviously, it left us with a little bit of a cliffhanger. And he was just eating people. I think it was the twist in the end of the second issue of this was this little town of White Ash has dwarves and elves living in it, and I think they're having to do with keeping these other evil creatures at bay. But it's been a good story. The lead character in this is half dwarf and didn't know it, so he kind of found out as he was trying to go off to college, and it's been a good book. I really like the art in it. Matter of fact, I think the last issue really had some. I'll have to show off there was some really good storytelling in the last issue in the art that I really liked. I was impressed by it. Then we've got The Boys, Dear Becky. I read all of the first volume of The Boys recently, digitally, and I'm enjoying this volume. The show, I enjoyed the first season of The Boys, the TV show. The second season's coming out now, but the comic I really like. I like comics better than TV and movies anyway, so that's no shock. But the comic is a little different than the TV show. But I actually like the TV show of The Boy more than I liked Lock and Key. So, and a lot of this is told in flashback because The Boys, the first edition that ended 10 years ago, ended kind of definitively. So now we've got our lead character who's still around 10 years later, sort of involved in this story in flashback. I'm still not sure how he's involved in it in the current day, but we'll see that. And then we've got Kaiju Max, Season 5. What issue number is this? 4. Oops. I almost said a roundabout cover. It's a wraparound cover for Kaiju Max. I always enjoy Kaiju Max. It's giant monsters in prison, and I always refer to it as one of the most human comics out there because it's all about their jailers are human beings in giant robot costumes, and the people in jail are giant monsters, and it's all. And besides that, it's a prison drama. So it's an interesting little mashup of prison drama and kaiju. So check out Kaiju Max. Because this is season that every year they restart it with a new season. This is year 5. You can of course find them all in trade. And then guess what's back? Stray Bullets number 42. I think this is supposed to be ending soon, but I don't know. It was a bit of a... They start the story right on the inside cover. I have not read Stray Bullets. I can't remember when the last issue came out. I'll have to look that up. But it's always good. Uses an 8-panel grid a lot. For some reason at my comic shop they had 2 copies of this for me, but I only got 1. I think it was resolicited somehow twice. I remember seeing it solicited twice, so what the heck, I got 1 copy of it. We'll keep it with that. Oh, the phone is ringing. Is it for me? Probably not. I'll just ignore it. Nope. The little phone just told me who it was for, and it's Calicoon NY. I don't know what that is. But anyway, this is the book I got. All You Need Is Kill. It's a big, thick one. And this is, I recently watched for the first time Tom Cruise movie Edge of Tomorrow, which is a sci-fi time loop movie where Tom Cruise is caught in a time loop and aliens have invaded Earth, and he's fighting and he's living that one day of fighting the aliens over and over again. And I enjoyed the movie, and one of my friends said that, the manga it's based on is really good. So I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And it was originally a Japanese YA novel, and then they made the manga, and then they made the Tom Cruise movie. But I really enjoyed this. Instead of Tom Cruise, we've got a Japanese soldier. Instead of taking place in France and England, it takes place in Japan. And I actually liked the ending of this better than the ending of the movie, though I was okay with the ending of the movie. But I've liked this manga. I've actually read it twice in the week I've got it, as is my habit with usually the smaller comics, but I don't always read the bigger ones twice. But it's also a manga, so it reads real fast. But the one thing I didn't like about this, which is my friend who's a big manga fan tells me it started in the 90s and has been a stylistic thing ever since. The battle scenes are very visually confusing, and they leave me cold because I have a hard time following them. And turns out I'm not the only one. I posted something like that on social media, and a bunch of my friends were like, yeah, me too. I thought everybody was like, I thought it was just me. And like, no, it's just, and like I said, my one friend who really knows manga was like, nope, it's a stylistic thing that happened in the 90s, and we've been stuck with it ever since. So really excellent book if you want to read a good sci-fi fighting aliens time loop story. All you need is kill. Now let me show you a little bit of artwork. This is what I'm doing some small stuff lately again because I've been doing so many digital things. But just yesterday I did these 4. There's a few more than 4 here. I don't know if I showed you those or not. These are ink over blue line sketch. Yeah, these two kind of make a pair. I did this one last week, I think. And this is also a new style I was developing. This is I call it my 3 marker style, because I'm basically using 3 different line weights of 3 different markers, refilled with India ink usually, and just using those 3 line weights over and over and over. So that's sort of a new. Oh, look at that one. That one's a little weird. Floating head in lines. That's more that 3 line weight style. That's my side of the brush technique. There you go. Put these back. Which one do we want? I give them all names too, so I could identify. Mustard Cave, Awkward Stare. This one is named. What are these ones named? Ones I just did. Mixing Bell, Delivery Face, and Mind Sharp. I like coming up with names for things, and also it's a way. Otherwise, I find if I don't give things names, I have no way to identify them. Which drawing did I do? I don't know that one from that day, but now I can look up. Oh, Awkward Stare. That's the one I want. All right. Hope you enjoyed the comics, and you guys have a good week out there.